The third-party logistic provider, the first one is they have their own warehousing and transport asset. And in case of fourth-party logistic, usually non-asset based, they does not own warehouse, etc. And the second point, focus on day-to-day tasks, especially in case of third-party logistic, they perform day-to-day tasks. Then in case of fourth-party logistic provider, they focus on optimize the supply chain. So in case of optimization of supply chains, you directly involve the four entities of supply chain management or four component of your supply chain management. What are the four entities? Starting from the product, facilities, warehouse, and the route. So these are the four entities of your supply chain management. Then the third point, one of 2 points on contact the supply chain. But in case of fourth party, act as a single point of contact. The next part is the third party warehouse network typically consists of 1 to 10 facilities as far as concerned with storage capacity. But in case of fourth party, they are starting from the range is starting from 1 to 1000 plus warehouse across their networks. The next point is the third party will focus on providing coverage for specific region of countries. For example, in case of India, some third parties are well connected with North India. But in case of fourth party logistic, they are directly span with entire nation, even if they surpass internationally, or some even span in case of internationally. Then in case of third party, the merchant often sign 1 to 2 year contract. The maximum in case of the contract negotiation between the third party agency and the company will be maximum 2 years. But in case of fourth party, the merchant scale the scope of service they implement and they will tailor the price to match. If the price will match, they go for the contract negotiation with the companies. The next is the third party will offer any form of technology solution alongside their fulfillment service. So that is some third party are implementing ERP tools or even some third party are using SAP tools in case of providing different kind of technical support to fulfill the service. But in case of your fourth party logistics, they are enable warehouse management systems to complete their managed service components. And the last one is the third party may provide support to help with day-to-day issues, but they rarely provide supply chain analysis or strategy advice. In case of third party logistics, there is no consultancy regarding different supply chain analysis and your strategy advice. But in case of fourth party logistics, a leading fourth party offers strategic supply chain support to their merchant for optimization of inventory as well as the distribution efficiently. So this is the basic difference between third party and your fourth party logistics. Then moving to the next one. So if you go to the schematic view of this particular third party versus your fourth party logistics. In case of first party logistics, there is a particular cargo owner is there. The service, the basic service provided, that is manufacturing and retailing. Then the second party logistics, they provide carrier and transportation service. And the third party logistics provide logistics service provider. And the service include only logistics. But in case of your fourth party logistics, they are including lead logistic providers and consultancy regarding supply chain analysis, and you can say that is your strategy advice. And their services directly include the total entities of your supply chain management. If you go to the second figures, in case of fast party logistics, by the help of cargo owners, the material should be directly reached to the retail house. That means it should be the service should be in between your manufacturer and retail. Then second one is it provide carriers, different time or different mode of carriers starting from different manufacturer to retail house. So that is why they only provide the service in the form of transportation. Similarly, in case of third party logistics service provider, they perform logistic activities. In case of logistic activities, if you see the third party logistic figure, starting from the manufacturer to warehouse facilities, then warehouse facility to your distribution network, and by the help of distribution network, the product should be reached up to the retail house. The last one is in case of lead, your fourth party logistic provider. They initially lead the logistic provider, and their services include the different entities of supply chain management by the help of, if you see in the figure, from the manufacturing to the consultancy level. And then the role of, you can say it is the function of consultancy is to analyze the different supply chain, and you can say it is they have to provide some advice regarding different strategy of supply chain. After that, the product should be reached up to the warehouse, then warehouse to your distribution network. Then by the help of distribution network, it should be reached up to the retail house. Then moving to the next one, these are the key advantages of third-party logistics. The first one is cost saving. In case of cost saving, most of the client of third-party logistic firm nearly always save money by reduce different component of the logistics. What type of component? That means reduce the manpower, reduce the capital cost involved in case of purchase of new vehicle for transportation activities. So these are the direct costs which is include, these are the costs which is directly eliminated by the most of the companies. That is why they are assigned third-party logistics. The next one is low capital commitment. When the company outsources logistics function to a third-party logistic firm, that company no longer maintaining or managing their own warehouse and transportation system. And the third one is freedom to focus on core competency. So as you know, most of the business are very much complex. If you hire a third-party logistic company, the company is directly specialized in case of logistics issue and operation. And business is, as I told, the business is very complex, and it is difficult to or impossible for a company to have expertise in every single sectors. Suppose you are a particular company like metal industry or plastic industry. That does not mean that you are expertise in case of logistic operations. That is why they are directly hire third-party logistics due to the complexity of business. The next is benefit from professional supply chain expertise. If you involve a knowledgeable or experienced third-party logistic provider, they have the knowledge of different source of industry best practice, such as companies stay current with the latest advancement and the development in case of logistic technology. Even if they provide some information regarding different recent advances in case of manufacturing processes and overall logistic operations. Then moving to the next one. The next advantage is leverage is a stronger resource network. Most third-party company offer vast resource networks. So resource in the form of manpower, resource in the form of you can say it is involvement of customized mode of transportations. That these are the or you can say that lend to significant advantages over in-house supply chains. By leveraging the source of network of third-party provider, the step in supply chain can be optimized and executed in more efficient and cost-effective manners. That is why, as I told, the most of the third-party logistics are provided different type of loading, unloading, or you can say it is customized machines that reduce the different cost, or you can say it is the production or operational cost, which should be optimized, or that particular cost in case of supply chain that should be optimized or executed in efficient and more effective manners. The next is free of valuable time and capitals. If you outsource your logistics service, can free up with wealth of money and time for business. So a third-party company can help eliminate the need to invest in case of transport. As I told, if you involve your third-party logistics, that means you have to invest a huge amount of capital for logistics operations. Or even if in case of transportation, even if in case of your warehouse space, implementing technology, then start to execute essential supply chain processes. Then moving to the next one, that is utilize flexible and scalable services. There is a major advantage in case of investing in a third-party logistic provider is ability to effectively scale transportations, labor, even if they They are effectively scale spaces in the form of warehouse facility according to your company unique inventory management requirement. And the next one is that continuously improve and optimize your supply chain. If you involve the third-party logistics, the providers likely united facilities, different kind of facilities, starting from warehouse facility, then transportation facility, and have the resources to make adjustment and continuous improvement to each link in their client supply chains. So that is why a logistic professional will ensure your company need are met by leveraging highly efficient and cost-efficient strategy and the system also. So these are the most important advantages of third-party logistics. Till that, any doubt from your side? Anyone? Any doubt from? Hello. Shall I move to the other slide?
Yes, sir. No doubt.
Okay. Then the next topic is procurement logistics. It is very much similar to your purchase logistics, but the thing is that in case of procurement logistics, it's key activities in case of supply chains. So due to the demand information provided by the customer, that demand information is reached to the purchase department, and where the purchase department is responsible for providing procurement logistics inside the organization, so which is known as inbound logistics, and as well as outside of organization, that is known as outbound logistics. So if you go to the key activities of it is this particular procurement logistics is the key activities in case of supply chain, and it significantly influence the overall success of company depending upon how it is managed. If you go to the basic objective and goal of procurement logistics, that is the control of supply chains. In case of control of supply chain, that means you have to coordinate with again the four type of your entities of supply chain, starting from the product, then the facility in the form of warehouse, then the carrier, different type of carrier, and finally the route optimizations. And this control of supply chain in order to meet the needs of operational process. That is why procurement logistics is very much essential in case of most of the manufacturing organizations. The quantities to be supplied and supply frequency impact on supply chain inventory, demand forecasting, quantity of service delivery, vendor selection, then compliance date, the type of packaging, or you can say it is type of packings, load unit used by the suppliers are the factor to be considered in case of procurement logistics. I repeat, in case of procurement logistics, starting from the supply and supply frequency, impact of supply chain inventory, demand forecastings, quality of service delivery, vendor selection, compliance date, type of packing and loading units used by the supplier. These are the factors basically considered in case of procurement logistics. So in case of procurement logistics, there are three activities is concerned. The first activity is order, second one is receipt, and the third one is pay. In case of order, that is purchasing manager is responsible for receive the order, and that order directly goes to warehouse where they receive. Especially the warehouse manager or the store manager can receive. After receiving, the account department, which is coordinated by the finance department, they are ready to pay. So these are the different role of different activities of your procurement logistics, starting from order, received, and pay. So these are the fundamental procurement process and activities of procurement logistics. The next part is that if you go to the procurement logistics achieve a high level of complexity in different situations. What kind of complexity? The first is management of a large number of products, especially in case of retail sector. In case of is a case in case of in this particular point. The next is logistic network with many interacting agents. So whenever you implement a logistics network, there are so many intermediate networks or agents are there. The next is global sourcings with extended replacement period. So whenever you go for global sourcing, apart from local sourcings, that extend to replacement period, that means that period would be extended to maybe 2 year, maximum of 1 year or 1.5 year, or maybe maximum of you can say that is it takes more times in case of global sourcings. So that is why most of the company are prefer local sourcings. Then next is how this particular procurement logistics operational activities is concerned. If you go to the company point of view, in case of company, there are first one is internal users are there, second is emergency response beneficiary there, and the third one is stock replacement is there. So if you involve these things starting from your procurement sourcings, for procurement sourcing, these are the inputs starting from internal users, then emergency response beneficiaries, then stock replacements. So in this case, the worker levels, your beneficiary levels, and the facility level in the form of stock, they are the inputs of procurement sourcing. And what are the output? The output is central warehouse, then second is field warehouse. And from central warehouse to internal warehouse, and internal warehouse to number of destinations. Similarly, in the output, there are also emergency and response beneficiaries there. They are act as a sub warehouse, or you can say that is internal warehouse, or you can say it is carry and forward warehouse beneficiary are there. And finally, it should be reach up to the number of destinations. And the last one, from the field warehouse, it should be reach up to the stock replacement. So similarly, in this way, the procurement logistics would be play their role to enhance the key objective of objective in case of control the supply chain management. The next part is that what is procurement management? In case of procurement management, is all of process that go into managing a company income material need for manufacturing. As I told, first the fundamental objective of procurement logistics is order, then next one is receive, and the third one is pay. So in this regard, they can control or they can manage the different material need for manufacturing. So that is why most of the procurement is nowadays is performed through e-bid or e-tendering. So this may include the bid from third-party logistic provider, the creation and negotiation of contract with such provider, the hiring of employees, even if drivers, and marketing and business professional. Most of the company, due to these things, due to manage different kind of activities, they are directly go for bid or e-tendering or e-bidding. In this bidding, they are searching more adequate third-party logistic provider. Even if they go for creation of third-party logistic provider, even they go for contract negotiation, even they go for hiring of employees, hiring of drivers, even if they go for marketing and business professional for hiring of hiring through the procurement logistics. The next part is that these are the service overview of procurement logistics. In case of process and propose of new strategy for procurement logistics in order to improve supply chain performance. As I told, the procurement logistics is implemented to control the supply chains. And for controlling, somehow it will improve the supply chain performance also. If you control the supply chains, automatically it directly lead towards improve the supply chain performance of that particular company. For improvement of supply chain performance, the following tasks should be considered. The first one is improving accuracy of demand forecasting. So as you know, for demand forecasting, there are various statistical tools are used in quantitative manners, that is known as a simple moving average, exponential moving average, weighted moving average. These are the tools basically used for improving accuracy in case of demand forecasting. The next is selection of appropriate inventory models. So in case of inventory model, the common inventory model that is known as ABC analysis, then XYZ analysis, then VD analysis. These are the inventory model basically used for simulation and optimizations. The next is analysis of impact of different inventory policies on supply chain processes. And the fourth one is selection of type of supplies, whether we perform centralized supply chain or whether we perform decentralized supply chains. The next is choice of supply chain strategy. That means direct replacement, stock flow, or you can perform cross-stocking strategy for your supply chain networks. And the next one is replacement policy, taking into account consideration for retail, such as ordered days management or consider self-connected supply chains. So these are the things which is implement in case of your procurement logistics. Then the next one is the advantages of this procurement logistics. The procurement process, if well followed, gives the buyer advantage to select the best supply for their job. The next is opened of market for buyer to get best quality at a reduced price or at less price. It saves time and money, because if you implement your own logistic, that means you have to hire education staff, then driver, then co-pilot, their wages, their operational expense, the vehicles. If you implement the procurement logistic, that means you can save the time and money also. Then effective plan of procurement serve as a conduct to achieving entity of objectives of your supply chains. It provides a framework to guide procurement officers in achievement of their particular tasks and duties. The next is choose the right supplier with the right skill on the job with latest technologies. And the last one is an effective plan ensure compliance with regulatory policies. So these are the basic, most important advantage as far as concerned with procurement logistics. Okay, so that's all from my side. Any doubt from your side, you can ask freely.